Good morning, happy Wednesday. Welcome to day 5 of this art and mindset challenge. So the whole point of this challenge is to have a kind of a journey together where art meets creativity and kind of give you some tips and some real actionable steps that you can take to improve your artwork or to improve your mindset. And I just think they go so well together. They go so hand in hand. So I think it's really important that we keep supporting each other and lifting each other up. So grab your favourite tools, whatever they are, pencils, paintbrushes, or even an open mind, and let's go on this creativity, this crazy, exciting creativity journey together. So today I'm going to be talking about artistic block and how we can overcome it. And I've made a couple of notes. I just want to double check that I am live. I didn't do that yesterday. And it's quite good to have this computer here just so that I can see if anyone's commenting, even though it doesn't really show me most of the time. So I'm really sorry if you jump on live and it doesn't let me know, but if you are, please do say hello, because it's always nice to chat and not feel like I'm on my own in my conservatory, which is a little bit weird. So artist block, what tips can I give you to overcome it? I think the first one I would say is to not overthink it, because I think we're very good at that. We'll start telling ourselves stories about why this is, what it means, do I not really enjoy it anymore, or am I never going to be good enough? All of these self-doubts start coming in and create that kind of atmosphere where we can easily say, do you know what, it's not worth it. And it can go weeks and months without you creating anything, and that's a real shame. I don't want that to happen. So don't overthink it. Everybody gets it. We don't have endless inspiration constantly. Life kind of gets in the way. So don't overthink it and don't think this is going to go on for a long time. It probably won't, and there are things that you can do to help it. So that's the next step. Embrace imperfection is my next one. So when you sit down to draw or to paint, don't have this massive expectation that this is going to be your next masterpiece and it's going to be amazing and it's got to be perfect, and you have this vision in your head of what it's going to look like, and maybe your experience and your kind of skill set at that time doesn't match up. We've all been there where you start something and you think you can do it. Well, I do anyway. And you start and you think, this is a lot harder than it looks. It's a lot harder than everybody shows on Instagram or Facebook. And you think, oh, I can do that. No. And you start it and it just doesn't appeal. All those people that say that abstract is really easy. It's really not. It's amazing. Once you try and do it yourself, you see how much skill and time and expertise goes into it. So don't have these massive expectations, you know. Be kind to yourself and just think, I'm just going to see how it goes, but I'm going to start. It's not going to stop me trying and moving forward, because that's really important. We can tend to block ourselves quite easily and we don't even know we're doing it. It's subconscious most of the time. So don't, embrace imperfection and value progress over perfection, because there's no such thing. Break it down into small, manageable chunks. So instead of thinking I'm going to draw for 4 hours, think, well, I'm just going to see if I can get this eye to look really glassy or shiny, or get the darks right, get the values right, making sure that we've got enough highlights and enough darks to make it look like it's popping out in the right places. And I've got some kind of fluff that keeps going around my face. It's itching me. Maybe just concentrate on the eye, and then you might find that you'll start thinking, well, I'm going to actually do a little bit of the fur around it, or maybe I'll tackle the nose. And inspiration leads to inspiration. So positive thoughts leads to positive thoughts. Negative thoughts tend to lead you down into more negative thoughts. So the more we focus on, the more we get, you know, the more we focus on, we get more of that. So it's something that you kind of almost need to cultivate yourself in order for it to then start growing. You're not going to grow anything if you don't plant the seed. There needs to be a seed there to begin with. So do that, and then water it with, you know, doing the work, putting the time in, and not giving yourself a hard time, just putting pencil or paintbrush to canvas. Really important. take a break. So if you're forcing yourself to do something or forcing yourself too much to think of something, then you might find that it doesn't come. So if you do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pick up the paintbrush or pencil, and you're starting and within a few minutes nothing's really happening, it might be that you're tired and you need a break and you need a change of scenery, and no matter how long you sit there you're just going to stare at the wall. Then take a break. You know, it's really important that you step out of that, shake it off. You know, give yourself a little bit of time in nature. What I like to do, which some people might think is a little bit weird, is go outside, take my shoes off and actually connect with the earth, ground yourself. Have you ever felt like you're kind of floating around a little bit in this kind of anxious, manic state because you've got so much going on? If you stand on the grass, not on concrete or anything that's kind of blocking you from the earth, stand on the grass and imagine roots coming down through your feet. And just see, have an open mind and see if it makes you feel a little less buzzy. We all know that feeling. Let me know, because it really does work. Get yourself out into nature, see greens and blues of water, you know, feel the plants and smell them and really be in that moment. And what you might find is that when you come back, you feel, you know, you feel refreshed. You feel like you've actually given yourself a little bit of space. You haven't forced it too much, because there is a fine line between, you know, inspiration finding you working and you really being unkind to yourself and forcing yourself. So it kind of turns into that real pressure again of perfection. Like, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. Don't should all over yourself. It's not kind. So, you know, take a break. Keep a sketchbook or journal. I've talked about this quite a few times this week. It's really important that we don't have that massive expectation of sitting down to your masterpiece or a big piece, or it's got to be, you know, my next greatest piece. Sometimes we just need to doodle and sketch, and I love to do that. So it really does keep the spark going. It keeps me feeling like I'm letting that creativity out. I'm not just waiting to sit down for that next, because it's so easy. You know, I'm a full-time artist, and sometimes I get to the end of the week and I think, how many hours have I actually drawn or painted this week? And it's just ridiculous. Most of it is admin and sitting at the computer, and that's not what I signed up for. So it's really important to check in with yourself and get these little snippets of creativity where you can. They don't have to be anything major, but the payoff of it is, you know, massive. It's kind of tenfold. It really does make a difference to your state of mind and your wellness and your mindset. Next leads me on nicely, that little segue into mindfulness and self-care. It's really important that you really check in with yourself and see how you're feeling. Is it that you need that break? Is it that you need a little bit of space? Maybe you've got into the practice of meditation or just sitting and being. And I'm not talking about mindlessly scrolling on your phone or watching Netflix. It's not the same. It really doesn't, although it's a break from something else that you're doing, I imagine that you don't feel fulfilled at the end of it. I certainly don't. And you can waste so much time doing it. So intentionally, I think that's the thing. If it's a conscious thing, so if you decide that you are going to watch this show that you're really enjoying, that's a conscious decision. Put the phone away and really get into that program or film. If it's unconscious and you're just having it on in the background whilst you're looking at your phone, whilst you're flicking through Instagram or Facebook or Reels or TikTok or whatever it is, it's unintentional and it's actually quite a negative impact on your brain. You're kind of getting bombarded with content that is not actually serving any purpose. And if there is a video that makes you laugh, really think about that one, but don't then keep looking for more. I think we keep looking for this gratification or these little dopamine hits, which actually it's like being in the, not that I do this, but in, you know, the one-armed bandit where you pull the thing and everything turns around, you're really aiming to get 3 of the same and then it pays off. And how many times do you see people pumping pounds in and they never win anything? So it's a little bit of a gamble, I suppose. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a gamble to get these little dopamine hits. And actually what happens is they become numb. You become numb to them. So be intentional with whatever you're doing, and just look after yourself. Maybe take a hot bath, maybe do cooking or gardening or knitting or whatever it is that you know makes you feel good, but do it intentionally. That word got bandied around quite a lot in the last few years. It's a word of the year, but actually there's always some truth to it. It just becomes a little bit overused, I suppose, but it is important. And the next big reason I would say is remember your why. Why are you doing it in the first place? Remember how you felt when you started. What was the reason? And I think why power is so much more impactful than willpower. I recently gave up any excess sugar. And for those of you that know me, you know that I am a complete chocoholic. I can polish away a terrace chocolate orange and not even know that I've really eaten it. Dairy milk, Ferrero Rocher, they're my favourite. And I could mindfully eat them. I'd eat chocolate every day. I would get to the evening, I'd sit down in front of Netflix, there you go, a bit mindless, and I'd have a Kit Kat and I wouldn't even really realise I'd eaten it, and then it wouldn't be enough. I might reach for another Kit Kat or whatever. So we all know sugar's not great for us. It's not good for us in lots of different ways. And I'm really trying to be mindful of my health, obviously, with the last year that I've had. And my why power, so my health and how I feel, is a real reason to give up sugar, even though it's a massive habit and, you know, I love it, you know, I think I do, but I don't love it enough to keep doing it knowing that it's harmful for my body right now. So it's not been that difficult. It's been over a month now. The first 2 weeks, apparently your cravings go, and even went to the cinema at the weekend and didn't eat any popcorn, which is really unusual for me. I took a kiwi fruit. The man next to me thought I was quite strange. But, you know, my why power has been such a good incentive that it's not been that difficult. So what's your why about why you started creating in the first place? How does it make you feel? Is it that you wanted to learn a new hobby and have something to really focus on? Is it that you wanted to improve your art? You've always drawn and then had big hiatuses in the meantime. Is it that you just want to see your art improving and getting those lovely, great, real hits of dopamine when you see your art progressing, no matter how quickly? Is it that you just want to do it with family or friends? Is it to be part of a community like we've got here? There's so many different reasons, but your why needs to be strong, not your willpower. Your willpower will only get you so far. That, you know, I found that out in the past when I've tried to cut down on chocolate. My why is stronger, and I think that's really important. So there are 8 tips on how to overcome artist block. If you can think of any more that you'd like to share with the group, then please do put those in the comments. Let me know if any of those have helped you or whether you're going to try any of them and see how you get on. It'd be really interesting to know if they've helped at all. I have put the link, which for some reason is not clickable anymore, in the group for my latest offer, which is Creative Mind Shift, which is all about working with you more personally, diving into what's going on in your mindset, in your art career, and working with you with that support that we all need to help you move forward in which way you want to. It's a 2-hour masterclass just for you. We're going to deep dive into what's going on and how I can support you and how I can help move you forward if you're feeling a little bit stuck or feeling a little bit down or feeling anxious or whatever's going on for you at the moment. So it's tailored just for you, 2 hours focusing on how I can help you. So I've put that link in the group and I put it in this one. You might have to copy and paste it into the browser. But yeah, let me know what you think. There is lots of information in the page I put on my website if you'd like to know a little bit more, or don't be afraid to ask if you want to know what that's all about. But it's really about support and supporting you personally and it being targeted at you specifically, which I think is really important. So tomorrow we're going to be diving into finding inspiration everywhere. What does that mean? How can it help you? And then on Friday, the last day of this little challenge, we're going to be doing a mindfulness meditation. So I want you to come with an open mind for that if you've never tried it before. And if you have, then you know how enjoyable it is, how relaxing it is, how lovely it is. And yeah, so I really look forward to seeing you tomorrow, Thursday, for the next day of our Art and Mindset Challenge. I hope you have a really good Wednesday. Look after yourself, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Lots of love. Bye for now.